Welcome to European Stock Trend Prediction channel. So in this video, I'll talk about the prediction analysis of several stocks, for example, HD, Home Depot, Costco, and Google and Tesla. So stay tuned. So today is February 25th. So next week, it's a kind of a transition week. There's only 2 business days left for this month, and then it will move to March. So let's go to HD, Home Depot. And this is a Home Depot HD monthly chart, and this is a daily chart. So that means if you pick monthly chart, that means each vertical bar is 1 month, so actual fluctuation price, and these trend lines are the European stock prediction trend lines. And based on this HD monthly chart, and it's almost reaches down to this blue trend line, and dipped it a little bit, and then started to increase a little bit. So it's a kind of support around this low price region. So it's also moved down to this second blue trend line. So it's generally moved to low price region, and also has a relatively good support. And then if you goes to this daily chart, and you can also see this daily chart for that day and during the last week. So it moved even below this blue trend line, and then moved into this blue trend line. And then this daily chart also have a kind of a groove chart, this pattern generated. So generally for this kind of pattern, it may represent a kind of potential temporary rebound. So depends on if it can break this yellow trend line for this daily chart, $298. So if it will tries to break through this yellow trend line, if it can break through this yellow trend line, so it may have a good temporary rebound. So generally it may have a temporary rebound, but you can see it's still a relatively battle for this week. So for this week, last week it opened low for the early Monday and dropped even below this opened below this blue trend line. So when it opened low below this blue trend line, is generally represent a general decrease on that week. So it's a very strong decreasing trend on this week, and right now it closed here. So generally next week it may open here, may have a temporary rebound, but when it reaches to this $304, so it will still have a tendency to drop. So it may still fluctuate around this price region. So depends if it can break through, drop down below this blue trend line, then it will have a tendency to have a further drop. Otherwise it may have a temporary rebound, but this kind of a temporary rebound is expected to be temporary. It will not be a very big increase, but generally it may have a little bit of rebound. And so when you check this Costco, and you can see Costco monthly chart dropped down to this around this blue trend line. So there's still a gap here. So this Costco may still have a little bit more decreasing momentum, and it is very likely to still drop down to this blue trend line around $480. So depends on if it can support the stock price around this. It's very likely in the near future it may break down this blue trend line. It may still have a tendency to drop down even to this region. So that's for the Costco. And for Google, And for Google, that's a monthly chart, and you can see this monthly chart, it dropped below this blue trend line, so it's still have a big gap around this region, so it's very likely it will still be dropped down even to $85 to this blue trend line. But generally, when it drops down to this blue trend line, generally is in a relatively low price region, so it may still have a good tendency to have a temporary rebound or even a more lasted rebound. But generally in this kind of a low price region, even though it has a kind of a rebound, it will be a difficulty process, and trying to fluctuate around this low price region for relatively some time, for maybe like a couple of weeks at least. So let's go to Tesla chart. And the Tesla chart, and right now it's still in this region between these two yellow trend lines for this month. So it's generally, it means it's still have a relatively good increasing momentum, even though it is defeated by the decreasing momentum. So it's a kind of fluctuation range. So next week, and generally when it drops down to this is the weekly chart, when it drops down below this blue trend line, there's still some people, they still want to buy it, and then it may still have a kind of a temporary rebound. So if you go to daily chart, so that's a daily chart for Tesla. So last Friday it opened low below this trend line, below this blue trend line. So that means it's still have a decreasing momentum. So when it opened below this blue trend line, it will tend to drop down to the next lower trend line. So but when it drops down to this, still many people want to take advantage of this low price, and they will try to buy, and then the price still shoot it up and have still a kind of a temporary rebound. So it may next week, especially during the early next week, so it's still a kind of a battle, so it may have a temporary rebound, but when it moves up to this $200, so it will still have a tendency to even drop it down again. So it's a kind of battle around this price region, and but generally if this month it doesn't drop below this yellow trend line, so early next month, it may still have a tendency to fluctuate around this price region between $187 and $215. So if you are interested in this kind of analysis and prediction, you are welcome to subscribe European Stock Trend Prediction channel, or try the stock prediction tools ordered through the europeanstock.com online store.